we're gonna get this show on the road here. We'll play some Final Fantasy 12 today, because this is just what I feel like playing right now. I'm gonna bring up my chat on a tablet here. So if you're hanging out with me today, I do appreciate it, and we'll have some of the normal content. We're gonna save. We're gonna save the normal content. We're gonna save. There. I'm gonna turn off the audio there. We are going to save the daily training stuff for later tonight. So, thanks so much, guys. Hopefully you're having a great day. What's up, Jared? Hope you're having a good day. And in the meantime, let's go ahead and let's explore this game a little bit. I'm hanging out with my son, so I'm gonna have clean language tonight for the most part. I realized they updated this game so you can reset your license board. I would really like to do that.
Stairs.
What? You see some stairs? Can we go up these stairs? We can't go up these stairs because they're like for giants or something. Well, we could go up the ramp though, I guess. The ramp works. My favorite Final Fantasy. I'm glad. This is, I think, aesthetically, this might be the top. This might be like my top one as far as aesthetics go. There's some really great aesthetics in Final Fantasy games, but this one just really nailed it. It just had such a unique visual approach that was kind of coherent in its own way, despite all the crazy crap that exists in this game, you know? Oh, here's something to touch. Treasure! You got an elixir. Great. You know, you have like desert towns, and you have dragons and other kinds of monsters all inhabiting the same world. Airships and castles. And it all kind of works. It all kind of flows together. There's something also about games that they made in the mid-aughts. It's kind of weird to say the mid-aughts, the mid-2000s, that had this visual look to them. Is the best way I can say it. That they had this like full screen glow thing going on. That just everything glowed. Everything had like a halo glow kind of effect to it that I thought was really unique at the time, and I really liked at the time. Is there anything up here? No, there's not even any like bad guys. But you can really see just how cool it looked. But yeah, everything had this interesting kind of glow to it. The lighting was really in a good place going into the Xbox 360 era. This was originally from PlayStation 2, but the PS4 graphics still look pretty darn good. Did you finish Final Fantasy VII? I have not, but it's not really an appropriate game to play with my son around. I mean, this one, you could make a case that it's not. If I pull out Bunny Girl and you can see her butt basically, but there's not like a lot of just cussing. Like there's a lot of cussing in the Final Fantasy VII remake that I don't know quite how I feel about it. Naughty language. There's naughty language in my new book coming out next week, by the way. So I'm not really against naughty language. It just it was kind of interesting considering there really wasn't much in the way of naughty language in the first one, at least as far as I remember it. And it feels like the naughty language was added to the other one. I don't know. It feels like a little piece of edge master. Like we're going to be really edgy and have some naughty language, just like back in the 90s. It was real cool to have naughty language everywhere. It's like I get it. People think naughty language is what makes you cool. So pick up all the treasures here. A bottle of Domaine Calvados. Yeah. Take a look at this thing. Like Final Fantasy 13 had some environments that were like this that were pretty cool too. Sort of like how Picard has characters swearing like sailors. Yeah, I haven't watched that show, and I don't plan on watching it, especially after I found out that it's not even. Not only is it not Star Trek, it's not even actually Captain Picard. It's an android programmed to be Captain Picard. It's like that's really it just seems really dumb to me. It's like the vulgarity is really not necessary, and if you're going by the tradition of Star Trek, it's just doesn't really have a place, in my opinion. In Star Trek, at least. But anyway, a lot of stuff nowadays tends to cursing. Now, see, I have cursing in the new book, but it's literally sailors. So I'm just, if somebody is going to complain that there's cussing in the new book, it's like, the main characters are basically all pirates. So do you expect them to be clean-mouthed and not say anything remotely, bad? Let's see what we have to steal from a golem. I need to actually see how my party's set up. I haven't played this game in quite a while, unfortunately. Yeah, I think cussing is overused. See, and it really kind of goes back to the 90s. Because in the 90s, there was a lot of cussing. It's like Kevin Smith. You have a lot of cussing and foul language, basically to make up for the fact that you don't have real comedy. A lot of Kevin Smith's comedy is just based on how you can string curse words together. And sometimes it's really funny. Like, when Jason Mewes, rattles off a bunch of really gross things, I think it's actually very funny. But at the same time, it's not actually long-lasting comedy. It just has kind of a shock value to it. It's kind of like early South Park. Early South Park has that, and then later South Park really settled into just doing things in a way that wasn't quite as necessary as it was before. I'm trying to see where we need to go. I thought we had to go over here, but maybe there's another way forward that isn't quite as obvious here. Turn on my super speed. Run back this way. I find vulgarity in fiction to be weirdly out of place to the point where it doesn't really sound natural. Yeah, so dialogue in a book is more like a best of. And that's kind of how you have to approach it. If you're trying to write Quentin Tarantino dialogue in a novel, it's gonna bog things down, because novels need to be read, and they need to be read quickly. So if you have a Tarantino dialogue or Joss Whedon dialogue or who were we just talking about, Kevin Smith dialogue, it gets really bogged down, and it ends up really slowing things down, and doesn't really seem right. It doesn't mean you have to elevate the formality of all the language. The language can still be conversational and natural. But it's probably a good idea to view it as like a best of. You wouldn't have characters saying stuff like, the way that I'm talking. You wouldn't have a character actually talk like that, because that's not fun to read. While it might feel natural to hear actors doing that in a setting where actors are saying lines, it really doesn't feel good for people to, it really doesn't feel good to read that, because we're used to reading the best of. So whenever you're editing dialogue, if you feel like dialogue is taking up a little too much space in the manuscript, my guess is it's probably because you're not approaching it that way. You're not thinking of a best of, you're thinking of trying to make it too naturalistic, and it will suffer as a result. Yeah, I don't know if there was something I was supposed to do here or not. Oh, nope, there's the path. That's what we had to do. You have to wander around until you find, the hidden green path. But boy, it looks really cool, doesn't it? It looks super cool.
Yeah.
For some reason, I see people want vulgarity because it's a serious situation. It maybe feels too safe. If it isn't there, it feels too safe. Yeah. Find cursing in the real world oddly out of place, especially in the work environment. Yeah, it just depends. I think it depends. Uh-oh. What's that, Ron?
A dragon.
It looks like a dragon. Yeah, and the texturing and the approach to monsters. Oh, this is a boss. Well, we better get on it. Let's see here. Time magics. We're gonna see if we can put slow on that thing. And let's put, probably we're gonna want shell on Van. Probably don't want to already hit him with a cure. Let's see if there's anything to steal. You cannot use techniques here. Oh, interesting. Okay. Legit. And fall here. I don't have any of my gambits set up well at all. I like this boss music. What do you think of the boss music, Brian?
Yeah.
See, he's kind of a scary-looking dragon. Let's take a look at him. Look at his teeth. Can you see his teeth there?
Yeah.
Don't they look cool? And he has, like, weird bug horns, and he has a bug thing on the back. He's like a bug dragon. And little wings that come out of his neck. He's pretty cool looking. It's called Tyrant. Let's do, Bam. Man, he hits hard. I'm gonna have to pull out like a tank or something. No techniques allowed. And protect. And she has a cure. Cure him. We will go. Gotta have like Kiraga in here. Kiraga! It gets better and better, and you go Kiraga ga 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 ga. I've been told my dialogue sounds like something out of Tarantino script, and not everybody's swearing and stuff, alright? Yeah, he just has very, what I would call like naturalistic dialogue. It takes up a lot of space, though, you know. In some of his movies, it works really well. Other times, like in what is it? Inglourious Bastards. It really just kind of bogs down the movie, in my opinion. I'm particularly fond of wisecracking, slangy 1930s dialogue. You'll like the new book. It's got a lot of that. There's something about the banter and slang of that era that's music to my ears. It's like that, but except with some, like, 18th century terms mixed in there, so it should be fun. So you'll like the new one. If you haven't read City of Silver, though, you gotta read that one first. That's the...
Dad,
what's up?
what do you think of his big feet? Look, they're very big.
My magic. Was I able to get slow on this guy? I don't even know.
I don't know how to beat this guy, boss. I thought we were about to fight a big bad guy, but I was like, this is not a minion, this is a boss.
Yeah, this is a boss.
Well, now we beat this big guy. Well, he has a lot of life.
Yeah, it does. You just whittle it down. Just keep your guys topped off and get him down, you know?
Overlord has that much life. Overlord has that much life. Overlord has that much life. Overlord and the witch have that much life.
Oh, Penella's at full health. We don't need to do that. Overlord and what? Overlord and the witch have lots of life?
Yeah.
Oh.
That much life.
Like a huge life bar. That's what they have.
Yeah. Actually, have a giant heart.
Yeah. How do we actually? I could cast Berserk. Let's cast Berserk on Van. There you go. Berserking. When he goes berserking, it's like extra. He attacks faster and does more damage. Go down to Kiraga. Kiraga ga 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 ga. And Let's try slow again on this bad boss. How is Overlord actually going to be defeated? Overlord is one of his characters in his Lego adventures. Man, we're getting owned here.
Yeah, he's the final boss anyway.
Throw this guy a high potion real quick. Whoa! Yeah, dark. I'll go. Cura.
We're gonna die, man, Dad.
Are we gonna die? I don't think we're gonna die.
See how much life you have?
Not much, huh?
Did you just heal yourself?
Yeah, we all got healed up. Oh, fireball, fireball. So, let me see if there's... I gotta have something here that's like a fire resist. Fire resist would have been good to know before the fight started. Is no vulgarity bad? No vulgarity is not bad. It just depends on your, it just depends on your, I guess what you're going for, you know? Like a raunchy comedy without vulgarity would not work, but that's the point of the raunchy comedy. You know, any other story without vulgarity, it doesn't, vulgarity really doesn't affect characterization at all, other than if you want to make a character specifically vulgar and bad. But there's other ways to do it, I think. You know, I think there really are other ways to do it.
What if I'm just got a giant green face?
I don't know what, I don't think oil will do anything. Let's see if I can't switch anyone right now. See if I can run away from the fireball. Apparently not. Let's go. Hopefully this works. There's a Kiraja. Thundaga. I think maybe we'll try Reflect. Problem with Reflect though is you can't heal. So if I had like Balthier out, I could put Reflect on and then he can just like spam potions or something. It's definitely something we can do. Actually, we have Drain. We'll just drain his life. That works. Let's see what we got here. Can I switch? Okay, I can switch her out. Let's see if we can pull her in. Let's get a little utility here. Yeah, I do not have my... I don't think my bandits or my gambits are really set up to work correctly right now. My health is getting way too low. Let's see what she's got here. What you laughing at, bud?
Nothing.
Nothing. Is there a way to turn down the volume of the music in the stream? It's very loud. Yeah, we could do that. Hold on.
I'm laughing.
We can do that. Hold on.
I'm laughing at the dragon.
Yeah. So I think we can... Actually, we'd have to do it probably in the menus here. Yeah, this will do it. Turn on the music and the sound effects. Need the speech pretty high, because I like to hear the speech. There we go. That's probably a little better, right? If I could silence. Let's try silence. There we go. That should be a little better. You gonna go on a walk? Missed. There we go. Kind of double healed there. Whoops. Spending all my time in the menus. Oh, we got frozen.
Frozen?
Yeah. There we go.
We got frozen.
Are you gonna stay here, Ron, or are you gonna go on the walk?
I'm gonna stay here.
Okay. I think 1980s action movies handle vulgarity the best. Most sparse outside of villain speeches and one-liners, yeah.
After you beat this boss, what are you gonna do next?
Yeah, I think this is great. I think this is great music, personally. I don't know. It's whatever happens next in the game. Whatever we find out. This, what I like about this game, by the way, guys, is that it's, it has a linear story, but it's also open world. It actually does things pretty good. I love you.
I love you.
Hi, doggy.
Sorry.
Doesn't matter. There's got to be something in here to... It's got to be like a dispel guy. Remove beneficial status effects. There we go. For that dispel. Miss! Well, that's good. This Cura is doing a lot of work here. What are your thoughts on the practice of turning Final Fantasy stories into science fiction ones, like adapting Shakespeare's The Tempest into Forbidden Planet? Or turning fantasy stories into science fiction ones? I'm not really a
Or turn people into dragons.
Are we destroying dragons? What?
I said, or people turning into dragons.
Are people turning into dragons? I don't know if any people are turning in. I don't think any real people are turning into dragons.
What?
Yeah, I don't think any real people are turning into dragons. I think that is not the case.
Aurelia! Hi, cutie.
See if we can blind this guy. I mean, status effects on bosses, it's like they never work. He's immune to blind. That's good. They never work. It's like, why do I try them? I don't know. Because you gotta try them. You gotta see if they work. Darkra. Need to get like a gambit that'll automatically cast Cura. Hi, baby.
Dad.
I'm in my living room, so if you hear kids or babies, that's why. But it's fun. It's fun to be in the living room every once in a while. What are your thoughts on the practice of turning... Yeah, okay. I'm not a fan of turning fantasy stories into sci-fi necessarily, just because science fiction is already a subcategory of fantasy to begin with. And vice versa. If you look at early sci-fi stories like the Barsom stuff, the Princess of Mars, it's all very fantastical. So switching to a sci-fi setting just doesn't really make sense to me. It just doesn't really make any sense to me. You're switching from one fantasy setting to another. Thank you for the super chat, J-Lord. Mr. Stewart, have you read A Song of Ice and Fire? I read the first one. First one, Game of Thrones. Now, it's not a bad book. I kind of felt like it was a little bit of just like a high character drama in book form, kind of like a soap opera. But not necessarily bad. But once I got to the end of that book, I guess there were books that came after it. This was 15 years ago, by the way, at least. It was like in the 2000s. So the problem was that I just didn't really feel like continuing at all. I just had no reason to. Like, why would I need to continue on with that? Like, all the characters were dead that I cared anything about, which was almost none of them. The rest of them were just, you know, garbage people that I kind of wanted to die. I kind of wanted them to die. So I just didn't really see any big reason to continue with the series after the first book. But it's not poorly written. Like, George R. R. Martin knows how to write. He writes good dialogue. His scenes are great. His prose is very good. But I just don't like the characters. They're not people I care anything about. So I can't really do that. Magic, white magic. Cure this guy up. Yeah, they're just not characters that I care that much about. Oh, he died. That's,
Who died? Who died?
Van did. He got smoked. Someone raise him up. They're dead. I'm trying to remember how to change party leaders. It's been a while.
Did you raise him back?
Yep. Let's see if I can... Can't really switch here.
A leader has to be Ben.
Still have tons of MP. Oh no, he died. Let's do Van. That works. Actually, I think I can just pop out Fran. Oh, I think you can't lose any MP in this fight. I've noticed, like, you can't like full MP the whole time. So I mean, that works. I haven't paid any attention to this fight. I'm just like, what? What's up, bud? At the end of the first book is the major catalytic event that feeds in the following books. Yeah, I just thought it was an event that ended the story. I just didn't really care after that. I'm like, oh, story's over. Like, it just didn't... I felt like nothing mattered after that, so I didn't bother reading anymore. And I'm kind of glad I skipped the TV series. The TV series was way too boring for me to bother watching. Like, I watched the first few episodes and just nothing happened. What were you saying, bud? Let's see what she's got.
Help me beat the final boss.
Final boss of what?
Not the final boss of anything. Wanna
Just
fight
spam.
the witch?
Let me just spam heals.
You wanna fight the witch in my game?
I'd like to pull her off. She's already getting
I'm dead.
wrecked here. You're dead.
No, I'm not. That's the tendon.
Might go back after this. I think you can go back to the starting city and reset all the license board stuff, which is kind of fun. So you can try out different combos. This game really has like a lot of fun depth to the systems if you pick it up. After Sean Bean died at the end of the first season, I lost interest in Game of Thrones. Yeah, that's kind of how I felt. He was the only character I liked. So even if there was maybe more story, it's like I don't care about anything succeeding. It'd probably be better if everybody died. You know, no, there was nobody likable left at the end of that. So, you know, what do you do? What do you do at the end of that? And maybe this person's super... Like super black magic vulnerable? I don't know. Let's find out. White magic. Yeah. Black magic. We got that's good. Should we use black magic, Roan? She's like the maximum one. Yeah, I need to take a look at these gambits. Like, she should just be spamming Cura. We could probably set that up. So, like, all she does is just... It's like, ally! Spam Cura. There we go, beat the boss.
Look, Dad. It's gonna fall off.
Yeah, so the new book comes out next Tuesday. Next Tuesday is the big day. It's a sequel to the first Moonsong book, City of Silver.
What did we get?
So if you haven't read that one, I'll probably put out some free copies of the book. Let's find out. Let's find out what we got. Probably put out some free copies of that book to everybody on the mailing list. So be on the mailing list, dvspress.com/list.
Oh, look what we got.
It says congratulations. You think we'll get some loot?
Look what we got.
Oh, that thing. What do you think that is?
I don't think that is anything. A little lamppost?
You thought the Stark's unlikable. I thought virtually everyone was unlikable.
What is that thing? What is
I
that
thought
thing
almost
for?
every single character was unlikable. It's okay, just because a character is not likable doesn't mean they aren't interesting, but you just get tired of it. It's kind of like watching House of Cards. After a couple episodes of House of Cards, man, you just, like, you want to watch Paw Patrol or something. It's like, can we just watch something that has, like, a plot where somebody tries to do something good? Where everybody isn't a horrible human being embracing evil and being wicked 100% of the time? Oh, it's a Waystone Run. This is like a thing to transport us.
To transport us somewhere else?
Fantasy usually deals with surpassing the natural or tapping into supernatural element of the natural, while science fiction is usually about harnessing the nature. Well, that I disagree completely. They aren't that different. So I know we think in terms of setting, in the second half of the 20th century at least, you're probably on track. Just people tend to think of science fiction as being speculative of current science understanding. But in effect, having a show about spaceships is about surpassing the natural.
That's right.
There's no, like, warp spaceships. What's up, Ron?
I'm gonna wait for you to come play with me.
Oh, you want me to come play with you? Well, I'm doing the stream right now, like we talked about. Mommy will be back in a few minutes, and you can play with Aurelia.
I want to play with my sister.
But it's anyway, science fiction's about surpassing the natural anyway. It's about both of them are about approaching the same idea, which is changing the limits, changing the rules of the game. Fantasy changes the rules of the game so there's different things that are possible. Same thing with all science fiction. In fact, that's the heart of science fiction. And there's lower approaches to science fiction, which is like, our society a few years in the future where there's some new technology, kind of changes how you view things. And then there's science fiction that is like Star Trek, that there's telepathy in Star Trek. There's basically magic all through Star Trek. There's Q beings, which are, you have super powerful beings like the Q. Who could have built this place? We're in the Great Crystal. What's up, Ron? What you talking about? Nothing. Okay.
I just said nothing.
Spielberg thought when reading Jaws that the characters were so unlikable he wanted the shark to win. I don't think they came across that way on the screen, though. Alright, let's see where we're supposed to go. I like how they just put this giant map in front of me. Like, what am I supposed to do with this?
No.
Let's raise up our guy. What's your criteria for character likability? Also, this giant crystal is a huge maze. Have fun navigating the place. Well, let's find out. Find out what a big maze it is. You don't want to play with your sister? Well, you can always play by yourself. Too, you know? Gate Scorpio. A barrier of powerful magics prevents passage. There might be a mechanism to lower the barrier elsewhere. Oh, okay. You don't like playing with your sister? Yeah, she's a little bit small, huh?
She always messes up stuff.
She always messes up your stuff?
What's that?
I'm trying to get this thing off the screen, because I don't know why it's there, but it's not coming off, so...
These bad guys?
Oh, he got sleeped. I have a sleep nah. Sleep nah.
What is sleep now?
Should wake him up.
How do we wake him up?
We can attack him and that'll wake him up.
Let's do that. Let's attack him and wake him up.
No, she doesn't have it either.
I'll kill these bad guys for you, Dad. I'll kill this bad guy for you.
Yeah?
Did you wake him up by attacking?
Is it stone? Stona!
Egg
Stona!
What is stone?
It's rid of stone. Sometimes characters want to turn you to stone. Isn't that crazy? See if he survives. Just gets the heal off, just in time. This clutch paladin heals. Oh, thank you for the $5, J Lord. Rob Stark, Bran Stark, Caitlin and Ed Muir, Tully and who's that? Renly, bartering weren't evil. Also, I know you talked about the gore books, but did you read them? I read the first one. Tarnsman of Gore. This is a long time ago. I know the later ones got more just about, like, I don't know. It's not my kind of fantasy, but I know the later ones especially just got more into, like, the dominating sex stuff. I know a couple people that read them, that read them. Well, thank you for the super chat. I didn't really think they were... I mean, they weren't evil. I mean, well, it depends, you know. They're not... all the characters kind of get slowly turned to doing things that are not virtuous, right? So for a character to be likable, generally it has to be a character that wants to have some kind of virtue in what they're doing. And that's kind of important. It doesn't have to be a perfectly virtuous character. The idea now that you have to have a character that's full of flaws and stuff is not really the best way to think about it. Basic flaws is stuff like, you know, you make errors of attained a cloud staff. That's fun. You make errors of judgment, let's say. And errors of judgment are really easy to... What's up, Roaring Boy? Errors of judgment are really easy to pull off in a story. Whereas... Oh, I'm busy, Roan. This is the day when I stream. I thought you were gonna hang out with me. And watch her play. Now you're bored? Well, you can go play in the playroom if you want to.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm right here. You'd be 15 feet away from me.
No, 6 feet away.
Cloud staff. Staves 5. Okay.
What is cloud staff?
I got a new item. So you can go to the license board. What do we have down here? Monk. And you can find it. You're roaring like a monster.
Well, what's that big red?
Oh, these are
red dot
poles,
up
not
there?
staves.
Hey, Dad,
Stave's
go up.
gonna be...
What's that?
What?
Go up. Right there. What is that? Red thing.
Oh, that's where you start on the board. You can spend points to unlock different skills, and as you unlock those different skills, your character can do more and use cooler weapons and all that kind of stuff. Can you not roar like that?
I like roaring.
You like roaring, huh? I'm just worried it sounds like you're gonna hurt your voice, like it hurts your voice. Does it not hurt your voice?
No, it doesn't.
Is Conan virtuous even though he claims every woman he sees when he saves them from monstrous creatures and demonic beings and adds them to his harem? I think so. He's certainly doing the world favors, and he does favors for other people. You know, you can have a really chaotic character be virtuous in their own way. You don't have to have a perfectly moral character all the time. But you generally want something that's somewhat redeemable. What?
What is that?
Oh, that lets you use ethers, little items that give you more magic.
Oh. I thought that was a potion.
Thought it was a potion?
Mm-hmm. Is it a potion?
Rods. I don't know what class uses. I'm guessing black mages use staves. Yeah. Yeah, and I'm just like not using staves on this character, so there you go. Investigation complete. Thank you for the super chat. What did Robb Stark do that lacked virtue? I don't remember, man. Who cares? It's been like 15 years since I read the book, and I didn't find the series interesting enough for me to continue. Like on the micro level, just like the first few episodes were really slow. I was like, man, I don't have time to watch this stuff. And this is more just, you know, I don't like TV very much. TV's very, very slow moving in general, unless it's completely episodic, like Star Trek, where you're telling a complete story in about 40 minutes. Then it's fine. A thief's cap. Wonder what that does. Oh, I'm silenced now. A thief's cap. Hypno crown. That looks cool. Yeah, I do not remember. Light armor. It just has magic resist. It doesn't. I don't think it does anything else. Oh, raises your speed a little bit. That's cool. Conan's what's called a chaotic good character on the moral chart. Yeah, I kind of like that. I kind of like to think of him like that. Quentin, the book, wasn't a survivor of the Indianapolis disaster.
Dad, why is your guy silence?
That just means he can't use magic. Because you have to speak spells in this, you know? Regarding how science fiction and fantasy are quite similar, there's the Force in Star Wars. That's basically magic in the series. Yeah, I mean, the Force is magic. But, you know, technology that you don't explain... Well, I'm trying to remember what it was, you know. Sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. You know, technology that you don't really understand the workings of is basically magic. Like, you know, hyperdrive is magic in a way. Alright, so we ended up down here.
I lost my voice a little bit.
This will take us back. And then what happens? I'm guessing we come back and we got to try the next path. Is that what it is? No, it took us to a different place. Took us to a different place. Alright, well, let's keep exploring.
Yeah, I want to explore.
Yeah, look at how glowy it is. It's all gold and glowy. Ah, there's something down here. Oh, some of these guys.
Evil robots. They're evil robots.
I stole a nugget of iron ore. That sounds useful. How do you fix a Mary Sue type character once you put them out there? Being perfect is boring. So fix them once you put them out there? I don't know. I'd say, you know, from the get-go, you should write a character that has some growth potential. And especially you want them in a plot that isn't just made to show how great they are, where they could just blast through every obstacle. You want to create some obstacles in the plot that they can't get through. What's that, bud?
I thought somebody died.
Or especially bring in other characters that that have solutions. Like, you know, you create a problem the Mary Sue character can't solve, or the main character can't solve. And then you come up with, you bring in a character that has some solutions. Sorry, what'd you say, Ron?
I said
No me gusta. You know what that means, though.
What?
Yeah, Conan as a heroic character, he serves a couple functions. I actually kind of like Cole a little bit more. A lot more brooding. He's a lot more philosophical. If you know what I mean. Can I touch this thing? There we go. Touch the device.
What?
Now, did that do anything? Okay, there's an on and off. Are you gonna go play?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can't explore.
All right, let's see where this path leads us. Oh, some more guys here. What's up with the baby? Oh, he's silenced. They're all silenced. Well, we better fix that. Oh, he's got all kinds of afflictions.
Yeah.
Should have a, what is it? Echo screen? Echo herbs. By the way, when we're talking about virtue, virtue is an active quality. So virtue means you are doing something good. Vice is doing something bad, and then there's neutrality in the middle. So a person who is neither brave nor cowardly doesn't have virtue or vice. So if they avoid dangerous situations, they're not necessarily a coward. If they refuse to fight when they're supposed to, that's more like cowardice. So there's virtue, vice, and then something more along the lines of a middle way. Wow, that killed everyone. So, you know, an example, you know, and you could just go back to, say, like Aquinas, you know, the 7 virtues and 7 vices, and look at how those things are expressed. You know, there's like the virtue of charity. So being charitable towards someone means giving them something when you don't owe them anything, when there's not a specific reason to help them that empowers you. So this is a really common thing that they do with a lot of heroes. They have the save the cat moment. That's supposed to be a charitable moment, which basically means that the hero is going to do something just because it's a good thing to do, and That's why they're doing it. And not for any other special reason. But you know, there's other virtues like chastity, so the character doesn't involve himself in, he doesn't needlessly fornicate with women or something. You know, he keeps himself reserved. That's going to be a virtue of being chaste, of being somewhat pure. All of those things can be expressed by characters in a bunch of different ways. So, a more anti-hero kind of character is going to be a character that doesn't really express those virtues. And instead is either neutral or has specific vices that have to be overcome in order for them to, progress as a character, let's say. So, if you have an anti-hero that is... Oh, she's asleep. If you have an anti-hero that is a drug addict. Drug addicts are... they're not completely unsympathetic, but they're definitely engaging in a vice, which is abuse of the body through drugs. So if you have an anti-hero that's really into that kind of stuff, you're just gonna feel about them like you want them to be redeemed, you want them to be better than how they are. You're gonna have a lot of things that go along with that, but they could still be acting virtuously in other ways. So they, maybe they have a drug addiction, but at the same time they're also, at the same time that they are maybe drug addicted, they're also going to be helping somebody who needs help, or they're going to be very honest with somebody. They're going to have a virtue of honesty with another person. So they maybe they're acting imperfectly, but they have a girlfriend or something, and they're really honest and they're forthright with their girlfriend or their wife, and then they're still a likable character, even though they have maybe a significant flaw. I noticed that Hollywood, by the way, really loves drug addicts for some reason. And they just really like to use them, and I'm not entirely sure why. But it's always like the go-to flaws, like alcoholism. This is a Reaper. Oh, Fran's asleep. I can't deselect her. Well, this is annoying. Here she comes. All right, Fran. Some black magic on this guy. Is he blind? Silenced and doomed and blinded. Some eye drops. Eye drops. Let me stop in battle and put some drops in my eyes, which is always fun. What sort of qualities do you look for in an anti-hero? I would say it's the best. I think one of the best qualities is that you get with an anti-hero is an anti-hero is merciless and badass. So if you think of something like the Punisher, there's a kind of a catharsis when the Punisher enacts justice upon a criminal. And you can imagine that being very meaningful to... I don't know if we can actually get rid of Doom. I don't think we can get rid of Doom. I think it'll just kill me. Huh. Yep, I think I'm just gonna have to deal with it. Need to buy more Phoenix Downs. We had a Phoenix Down here. I'm gonna touch the device or keep going? Is the question. There's definitely some paths I haven't taken here. So yeah, I think if you can make an anti-hero that's really willing to mete out justice in maybe a vicious way, that can be cathartic. Like if he kills the bad guy, if it's like, oh, you know, I'm reminded of this movie. It was called Sin City. I'm trying to remember who directed it. I want to say it was Robert Rodriguez directed it. And, you know, at one point they kill this, like, pedophile rapist. He just kills him, you know. And it's cathartic. It's like because he was, like, the son of some politician. You're like, he's going to get away with it. And we're just going to kill him. And it's just going to feel so good to have him be dead. That is something that anti-heroes can execute very well. A character that's very much lawful good is a character that, you know, like a traditional superhero, rather than just killing the bad guy, leaves the bad guy, like Spider-Man, would leave the bad guy tied up for the cops. Or Batman, you know, would help the police catch the bad guy rather than straight up killing the bad guy. There we go. There's the Doom. Bring him back. How close or how far do you think John Carter is from being a Gary Stu? John Carter of Mars. I don't think that really applies to him. I mean, he's a hero. And as part of early pulp heroes, he's exemplary in that capacity. So he's a hero. He's not a Gary Stu in that the plot does not exist to show how great he is. That's a big key when it comes to, like, Mary Sue. Just because a character's competent doesn't mean that they're a bad character. I think this is one of the fears, is like, oh man, you know, these Star Wars characters were so bad. You know, they were so bland and boring. It's like, how do I avoid that? Well, it's probably not that hard to avoid, simply because you can make sure that your plot doesn't revolve around showing that character's skills. The character has skills. The plot might require them to gain some skills, to learn some things. Is that gold needle? Those are all things that you have to think about. Boy, like, he's got, like, every status effect under the sky. He's got, like, everything wrong with him. Oh, is Pinello asleep too? No, she's okay. It's that gold needle. Yeah, I mean, as long as you're making your plot not just completely revolve around showing how great the character is, having a bunch of obstacles that, oh, you know, here comes the next obstacle. Luckily, I'm super intelligent and smart, and I've got a million things going on. You know, and I can do 100 billion different things. Oh, here's a thing that I can't do. If you have one other character that's there that does something that the protagonist can't do, you're pretty safe. You're not dealing with a Mary Sue at that point. Rodriguez did direct Sin City. I thought so. He's such a style monger. He's got so much style in his cinematography. Like, when he shoots something, there's just a certain style to it that's really easily recognizable, I think. You know, I think he was probably a good choice to shoot Alita Battle Angel. So he really knew what he was doing with that, and it had a very good visual style overall. Why isn't anybody doing anything? Attack him. There you go. Why aren't you do? The gambits aren't working at all. There's not even an attack here. Get rid of... What am I looking for here? What cures sleep? Eye drops. Prince's Kiss. There it is. Prince's Kiss. Like, what does this item look like? I'd like to buy one Prince's Kiss. Well, here you go. This is what they look like. Oh. Oh. It looks like a bean. Do I have Asuna? Stona. Need to definitely get my gambits worked out here to make it a lot faster. I love the Punisher. Every time I see him permanently just put down a criminal, I get very happy. Exactly. It feels good that the criminals actually get the punishment they deserve. I agree. That's why everybody likes him. And that's why Punisher was such a cool hero to come out of, I think, the 80s. Maybe he goes back a little further than that, but I remember him from the 80s and 90s. Because, like, oh, you know, finally a hero with that does something badass. I'm about to start a new game of Dragon Age Origins, one of my favorite games ever, by the way, guys. Should I be human noble or dwarf noble? Well, dwarf noble... a human noble has, I think, the most interesting possible ending, which is you can basically become king if you know what you're doing. I can tell you how to do it. In order to become king, you basically you're going to kick Alistair out of your party and get Logain in your party. And you can do that at the lands meet. You just say, we're going to turn him into a Grey Warden, and Alistair leaves. Make sure you strip him naked before he leaves, because he'll leave with the armor on, and you won't get the armor back. So he'll do that. You get Logain in the party, and then you can negotiate with, what's-her-face, the queen. You can negotiate with her, like, to marry her or be her consort or something. And so basically you'll end the game as, like, the king of the realm. Which is an interesting way that you can end the game. But it upsets some of the characters, obviously. Like, you're not going to be able to finish with Alistair. Now, I will warn you, though, that, like, everybody was wanting those decisions to have some sort of effect in Dragon Age 2, and they don't. Like, I had a character that was king, and then Alistair showed up. I'm like, Alistair left and became a drunkard. You know, what the heck? Alistair is nothing here. Should be a... Oh my gosh. What item gets rid of this stop? Chronos tier, that's right. There we go. Now, can I go further? Have to keep wandering around for a while here. I might take a minute and set up my gambits here. And just,
Yeah.
Where I can do this the whole wandering around thing at like super duper speed. Ludicrous speed. Alright. I think I'm doing the right thing. I'm gonna set up some gambits here for real. And then I can read some chat. Yet everyone prefers Batman over him, over Punisher. I'd prefer Punisher over Batman for sure. But you know, the Batman we know is really like a product of like the Dark Knight comics in the 80s, and which eventually became, you know, the Christopher Nolan movie. But they very much influenced the overall tone of the Tim Burton movie, for sure. One of the biggest problems with Captain Marvel 2019 is that Carol was motivated by a desire to prove herself as good or as better than any man. Heroic acts were an afterthought. Yeah, I mean, that's probably part of that. I didn't really pick up that much. It's just mostly her wanting to be... she had a need to prove that she had her own will, too. So Dragon Age Origins, I like the human noble. I think it's the most interesting path. Dwarf noble, really, it's just there's a couple of different stories. Like if you do dwarf commoner, your sister's like married to one of the claimants to the throne. If you are dwarf noble, you really don't like that claimant to the throne because he like kills your brother or something like that. So you get a couple different sides to the dwarf story. If you really like the dwarf story, I'm not that into the dwarf story personally. I've played dwarves. I've played through the game basically on every origin. I think the most interesting is probably the human noble because you can get a really unique ending. You don't need to kick Alistair for that. You need to talk to what's her name? Aurora? I don't remember her name. Beforehand and agree to marry her. Then if you kill Logain with Alistair, she will still marry you. I didn't know that. I thought you had to kick Alistair, but I always kick Alistair anyway so that Logain will die. If you have Logain in the party, you could kill the archdemon with Logain, and then you can survive. Your character will survive because Logain will do the killing blow, and he'll die. And that means that you don't have to have sex with Morgan and produce a demon child with her. It's funny. Yeah, let's set up these gambits. There we go. Foe. Should probably just do foe. Nearest visible. Attack. And this should actually be down here. There's multiple allies here. Yeah, I don't think there's an ally with low whatever, but we'll change that to Cura. And that's good. Ally. Yeah, there's all these different things. Probably just have to hit that. That'll work. Yeah, see, here's the problem. We need to make that Cura. And foe. Party leader's target. not going to cure the foe. Need to have attack. I'll just go to the next one. See, it's funny because I don't have like any of the good skills for his classes yet, so he's like almost useless. Let's keep going. Highest max HP. Let's do Party Leaguer's target. Why not? Foe. I should really do this. Foe status, protect, and we'll cast the dispel. Bam. There we go. All right. Let's see what I missed. Sorry. Hope you guys are having a good day. Prostate exam and David Stewart, The Eternals changes more than 3 characters. It's 6. What? The Eternals changes more than 3 characters. It's 6. It changes 6 characters. Why are they even calling it Eternals after making so many changes? I don't know. The reason is because they can sell it to people that are... they could sell it to people who are into that. You know, they could sell whatever it is. People know the name, and so they know that they're going to buy it anyway. Here we go, fire. There. I gotta get more of these gambits. Gotta buy a lot of these ones. Let's make sure this stuff's actually set up. I'll probably just plow through more stuff now. Yeah, it's you know, they do these things because they're previously established characters, and people will buy them. People will buy the ticket, people will buy the new product. It's just brand recognition. That's the value. Is this a dead end? No. We'll go this way. Keep wandering around. We're gonna go ludicrous speed. Ever play Sleeping Dogs? I haven't. It's like Grand Theft Auto, but what? But you're undercover cop in Hong Kong. Super fun. I like I like stuff that's actually in an Asian setting as far as cities go. I feel like it's too often like generic American city for most things. This way. Oh, he's dead. Ball here. Let's do Bosch. Bosch hits pretty hard, though. Gotta say. can definitely do some work here. The Eternals changed Makari to female, black and deaf. Oh, great. Kingo to Indian instead of Japanese, Ajak to female, Gilgamesh to Asian, Sprite to female, Phaistos to gay. Yeah, that sounds about right. Oh, he's disabled. These guys have some awful status stuff. Annoying. She blind? She's blind. Like they have lots of eye drops. Casting Thunder. Kira. Can I get him out since he's disabled? I still can't remove him. That's annoying. He can't do anything. There we go. Why would they do that? Because you get brownie points from one group. And that's why. He's asleep. Fran's dead. Ugh, good lord. That is annoying. Kung Pao is one of the funniest movies ever. And she's silenced. It's annoying. Oi. He's disabled too. Flee over to the next screen, see if we got away from him. Just for a second. Echo herbs. Get rid of some of these status effects. Female-led films generated 55% more at the box office. Statistic from the Gina Davis Institute. If they believe that, it would explain the gender swaps. I guarantee you they've done some cherry picking to arrive at that. So, right back here. party here. I'm almost out of Phoenix Down. This is going to be bad. Alright. Echo herbs. Kiraga. Jack Kirby created the Eternals for Marvel and New Gods for DC. The MCU butchered the Eternals, and DC hired Ava DuVernay to direct New Gods. Jack must be spinning in his grave. Jack Kirby, Jack Kirby did a lot of stuff, and basically, Jack Kirby was completely, like, forgotten and abandoned by the greater comic book fandom by the time he died. And he was making indie comics about his own, like, libertarian political views and stuff, that were just no one paid attention. Jack Kirby really just got nothing for all of his contributions to comics. Yeah, just pretty much nothing. As annoying as that is, it's true. And there's a truth to that that's really unfortunate about the comic book industry, which is that the fans honestly don't care that much about who is doing what. They don't care about the artists involved. They don't really care about the personalities involved. It's really pretty much a second afterthought. It's all about the product. It's all about, like, consume more product. I guess we still haven't lowered the gate. So, it doesn't matter that Jack Kirby is completely forgotten by the people who should love him the most. What really matters is that Jack Kirby's creations, like, whatever, Iron Man and stuff like that. What matters is that those things get a movie. A full set of Ninja Gear. Wait. Full set of Ninja Gear. Where's this Ninja Gear? Black garb. Ninja Gear! Pretty cool. Some... Not gonna worry about it too much right now, though. Alright. Have I flipped the switch? Ghost! Oh! A ghost! Ghosts! Evil ghosts! Are these the same ghosts appearing over and over again, or, like, are these new ghosts? What's the deal? Touch the device. Jack Kirby is sort of like Bill Finger, who helped Bob Kane create Batman to what we know and love the character. He doesn't really get the recognition he deserves. Yeah, I mean, people who know Jack Kirby, but otherwise it's like, oh yeah, Stan Lee created all this stuff. It's like, what? No. Jack did pretty much all the work, if we're being honest. Steve Ditko as well. Actually, I'm probably thinking of Steve Ditko that like basically died penniless. But Jack Kirby, it was the same thing. Like, he just was completely abandoned by the comic industry, and the fans just didn't really care that he was gone. It's the truth. Yeah, Steve, you're right. Steve Ditko, not Jack Kirby, was the one that was a follower of Ayn Rand and made comics based on objectivism. You're correct. You may want to Google the map of the stage, maybe. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I mean, Stan is like an ambassador of comics. I don't really hate Stan. A lot of people, there's like a hatred of Stan Lee that runs through comics right now. That's frankly annoying. They're like, he stole everybody's property. It's like he didn't really end up owning the property either, though. So let's be serious. Jack Kirby's like the Nikola Tesla of the comic book industry. It's true. Like, he created all the cool stuff and gets virtually no credit for it. Alright. I've gone left. I've gone... Guess we'll go this way. Jack Kirby co-created Captain America back in 1941. He did. Wow. He was never fully forgotten. Steve Ditko was the one who faded into obscurity. It's true. Yeah, I mean, Jack Kirby did do good stuff at DC. Oh, these Oseis. These are like the worst things ever. White magic. Stona. Getting stoned, Pinello. I got Gaia gear, though. That's cool. Do you remember in this game, like, you wanted characters with fast attack animations? Alright. Let's keep going. I'm getting totally lost here. It should take us back. Anyone here read the Mr. A comics? Yeah, the comic industry is not doing too hot. I don't know if it will recover. It's actually hasn't been doing hot for a long time now. It's been kind of an animated corpse.
Are you all right?
Oh, this is a good spot.
I'm fine, thank you. Is that
Bunny girl.
Nethicite? I wonder.
Here's your butt.
With
Family
that
friendly,
much
guys.
Nethicite in one's grasp, you could destroy all of Ivalice if you wished it.
I always liked the voice recording in this game. It was very much close mic and very dry. It just had a really characteristic sound, kind of compressed. It's the best way I could put it. Wait. Am I supposed to go this way? I think I am, actually. We're like inside the Nethicite. Ah! Save Crystal! Save your game, yes! I watched a documentary that made the case that Ditko declined into obscurity because of his strict reference to objectivist ideas. Made compromise with publishers impossible for him. Yeah, I've heard that too, and there's probably some truth to that. One of your favorite games, Dylan 564. I think it's one of mine too, as far as Final Fantasy games go. I really enjoyed it. And I like the PS4 version, which is the same version you get on the PC and I think on the Nintendo Switch. Though it's not going to look quite as good on the Nintendo Switch. But it's a great looking game. It looked great on the PlayStation 2 and it just looks really sharp now too. I actually believe that was Steve Ditko. It's like... pretty much everybody I know of that has, quote, strict adherence to objectivist ideals on a personal level has major issues with dealing with other people. I don't think I've met a person, you know, who was somebody on the... It's one of the people who follows the channel calls them Randroids. I'm trying to think who that was. I think it's Star Trek Theory calls them Randroids, which is a funny word. But same thing with like Terry Goodkind. Terry Goodkind is accidentally successful, and as a result, like he's horrible to everyone. Objectivist ideals really should function at the level of the empire, not on the personal level. There is no individual when it comes to society and your own life. It's families. So trying to... the levels of organization matter for philosophy and politics. Whoa, a boss. He's all blurry. Whoa. So yeah, the level of organization matters. And it matters tremendously. So at the level of the family, trying to apply objectivist ideals makes no sense. You know, basically acting with personal license is not, you know, freedom is not a personal, value most people have. It's a political value, but when you're engaging in politics, you're always engaging at a higher level, usually above the level of community and the tribe, at the level of the nation. That's when politics should actually come into play. And so when you get up to higher levels of political organization, of course, freedom should be pretty much the main political value, but it can't be a personal value unless you want your life to be chaos and everyone to hate you. And then, you know, like, I share resources with my wife. Actually, I wonder if I can steal here. See what he's got to steal. A high ether. Well, that's pretty good. Pretty good item there. Oh, he's silenced. Better use this might be a boss that silences. But let's find out. Might like periodically cast silence. If he does, then we have an idea like what we need to do here. Why did I cast Liber on him? I'm used to it giving you like a clue to the boss, not showing traps. So that's what Liber does in this game. I'm being stupid. I find your mic sound very memorable as well. Always makes me thirsty. Oh, well, thanks. It's a good mic. I'm drinking cherry limeade. Tastes good. I don't watch superhero movies unless they're running on TV and I'm bored. Anyway, what was I was talking about politics, yeah. So whatever you do at the personal level is different from what you do at the level of society. It just is going to be different. Then you look at, like, what's the worst thing that can happen to you? Is it dying, or is it like you and all your entire family dying? Well, the answer is probably you and your whole family. So it basically means you're not a strict individualist, and almost no one is. But we need to think of individualism when we get up to higher levels of political organization, because there's lots of benefits from people being free, and liberty is something that actually matters when we're looking at the relationship between people and the state. But as far as controlling behavior, most of it happens at, like, the family, extended family, tribal level. It doesn't really happen so much with the state, despite the state having a lot of overreach. That's not what regulates most human behavior. It's our social interactions. Yeah, these guys are just, like, mobbing him down. Made Balthier like a paladin. I think he's like a ninja white mage. Is what I think I made him. Oh yeah, see, and then he silences. So periodically he silences everyone. And we use our echo herbs on one guy. But see, that works. We only really have to deal with one dude. And I'm gonna switch out. Oh, Penelo's dead. Dang it. I'll cast haste. Haste is very useful. This isn't that hard a game, but there's always a lot of little battles that make you have to actually do stuff here. Whoa, he died instantly. I don't know what is that? Oh, disease. It means you can't get above one HP. Items. Phoenix down. And then, see if he can... I have a cure disease here. A remedy. Fire damage. Grant bravery, HP. I don't think I have anything that removes disease, so, like, we may be kind of screwed there. Let's try, we'll see if Asuna gets rid of it. I don't think he got rid of it. He's at 1 HP. He's just plugging along with 1 HP. Oh no, he has disease, so he can't regain health. And Balthier's dead! He's almost dead. Let's get Fran out. Ash. Figure out what mist does here. Fulminating darkness. I don't think I did that right. It'll do like 3 damage to him. Good job. Yeah, I just didn't do much. It's okay. Yeah, Bosch is dead now. Disease. I have anything that's like oil. Oh, his elemental weakness changes. That's it. I'm supposed to probably be hitting him with different elemental weaknesses. Just wasn't paying attention. Kiraga. We might lose this one. That'd be fun. Alright, Blizzard. Oh, that didn't do anything. So... Fire? That didn't do anything either. Yeah, I think we're gonna lose this. That's gonna be interesting. I think I'm gonna lose here with like 1 No, I beat him. Oh, I beat him with Van having 1 HP. What are your thoughts on Jurassic World? I thought the first movie was kind of fun and okay, but it's basically a requel to Jurassic Park, so there's really no reason for it to exist. It's just like a pulpier version of Jurassic Park, which is fun in some ways. We're like, we're gonna use the dinosaurs to hunt, and they just pulled out all the stops. So I liked its pulpy goodness. Van is the lone survivor of this boss fight. You obtained the Esper. Something the Whisperer. The lone survivor. With 1 HP. And barely, yeah, I have barely any health left. 1 HP. I beat that boss with one guy with 1 HP left. That's where we're at with him. All right, so that's probably a fun place to a reverse moat to probably leave it off at. Heistaga mode. I need to raise up some people. Do I have any Phoenix down left? I might have to, like, go back. I think I'm out of Phoenix down. Yeah, I think I used all the Phoenix downs up. Do I go forward or, like, go back and heal up? That's where I came. It would be really funny if, like, there was another bad guy, like, on the other side of that and killed me. Alright. I'm gonna go forward and we'll see what happens. And then I'm probably gonna wrap up the stream there. Is there anywhere to save? That's the big question. There's a little transport device out of here. I better go back and save just to be sure, because, like, 1 HP disease. Totally gonna, like, lose my... There'll be, like, a bad guy spawned right there, and then I'll die. I never saw the second Jurassic World. I only saw the first one. Made way too many save games here. I wish it sorted them in reverse order. Part of the music sounds like the music from Throw Mama from the Train. I don't remember what that one sounds like. Okay. Everybody's back. And the disease went away. Sweet. No disease. World free of disease. You're a lucky man, you aren't missing anything. You know, I'm trying to get more away from watching a lot of movies, especially big blockbusters, because they just aren't that fun, you know. They're such schlocky stories now. Low quality stories, agenda in all of them. Rather watch more, find more indie films, so I'm gonna watch movies. By this path and no other reach ye the round of the undying, walk of the chosen. Touch the device. Let's touch it. You still have your PS2 in game. That's awesome. So I have my PS3 to play all my old PlayStation games, and works pretty flawlessly with an HD screen. So it's actually a really good device to have for, you know, for classic gaming. Oh, it's good. I can broadcast this cool cutscene. Square often does, like, they kill the broadcasting of cutscenes.
Where is everyone?
Fear not, Princess of Dalmasca. We, Ocuria, have chosen you, and you alone. Ashalia Benarg and Dalmasca, we see your heart desires power, and power most holy shall we grant. Seek you the sun-crest, slumbering star. In tower on distant shore, it dreams. The mother of all Nephesite, the source of its unending power. The Dynast King, his fallow shards, coarse trinkets cut from sun-crest's light.
Such power exists?
In times that are long passed away, we sought to save this Ivalice, and chose Wraithwall, the Dynast King. He took the sword and cut the crest. 3 shards he took from its gilt grasp, and so became the Dynast King. His words and deeds run through. This
is a good little reveal here. Very lore heavy, this game.
That's why I was given it. The Sword of Kings.
The treaty held with kings of old is but a memory, cold and still. With you, we now shall treat anew, to cut a run for history's flow. Now take this sword, this treaty blade, Ocurian seal, mark of your worth. Cut deep the crest and seize your shards. Wield Dynas King's power. Destroy Vanar.
But Vanar... Vanar's an Acurian. A being like you.
Vanar is a heretic.
A heretic.
The Nephesite is ours to give to chosen bearer, or to none. The heretic trespassed, and set the rose of knowledge in man's hand. With imitations they profane. It is anathema to us. We give you now the stone and task. Administer judgment. Destroy them all.
Judgment?
It's her husband, her dead hubby.
Destroy them all? The Empire?
The hues ever skew, history's weave. With haste, they move through too short lives. Driven to err by base desires. Toward waste, and wasting, on they run. Undying, we Acurian light the path for wayward sons of man. Oft did we pass judgment on them, so that Ivalice might endure. Eternal, we are history's stewards, to set the course and keep it true. The chosen is our hand, our fist, to let live some and crush the rest.
If you're wondering why there's apostrophes, it's because this is written in verse. It's to keep the I ams clear.
You have been chosen. Take revenge against those who stole your kingdom. Fulfill your
We see the same thing in
role as
Shakespeare.
savior. Attain to your birthright.
Ash. What's with these Acuria?
Maybe kind of like
What
the
gives them the right
blurry.
to tell you what to do?
Will you take revenge, as they ask?
We could not see them, but we heard the Ocuria speak. They may be gods, but we are the arbiters of our destiny. Your Highness, I'm against this. The Empire must pay, but destruction?
Does anyone know what happened to Dr. Sid? Wasn't he saying he'd be here?
He should have arrived by now.
And I should have realized by now. He's not coming. He laid out the bait, and we bit. Remember what he said? He wanted Ash to get the stone. He wanted that all along. That's why he flaunted his nethicite, and reeled us in with his stories about Gittervagan, all to bring Ash to the Ocuria.
But wait, if we got a hold of the nethicite, wouldn't that be bad for the Empire?
Maybe he wants to see what happens when foes with nethicite collide. That'd be just like Dr. Sid.
That's his dad, by the way.
I will search out the Sun Crest.
History is built by our hands. That's his favorite line. He'd never stand by and watch the Ocuria stones shape things. So, he was talking to Vanar all along. He wasn't mad at all then, was he?
You obtained the treaty blade. Sweet. I even like the fonts in this game. They chose like these classic,
Restore
Bookman font
sovereignty
here.
and make our amends with Lady Ash.
Just
It's
looks
the
great.
only way to avert war.
It is a war of necessity. Your Lady Ash herself is bent on it. She desires it above all else. She will not rest until her revenge is full wrought.
I fear you misread her intent. She would sooner shun war than embrace it.
You are young, Larsa.
And you presume beyond your ken.
Then let us look closer. Judge Gabranth. I would have you seek after the Lady Ash and adjudge whether she makes overtures of peace or war. Yours shall be the eyes of the Empire.
And should I espy war, I am to put her to the sword. Is that your wish, Excellency?
It will not come to that, I am sure. I have faith in her, faith in you both. On you, Gabranth, shall I wager all our fortunes?
Yeah, this is exposition.
As you will.
Sorry, I'm just listening. Have you read Michael Crichton's Jurassic Park? If so, what are your thoughts on it, both in its own right and compared to the movie? I think it's a great book.
Sweet a child could
I think there's a lot to it.
It's hard to believe.
Larsa is as he should be.
Here, let me watch this, and then I'll talk a little bit, and then we'll wrap it up.
Ah, taken the bait already, have they? Splendid. The Ocuria have given the princess her treaty blade.
The gods have chosen their scribe to write history as they deem fit. Yes, and she with fresh nethicite to aid her.
Bah, to hell with the Ocuria and their stones. What good? A power that cannot be harnessed. Baubles best suited for study, no more.
We conquered 2 kingdoms that you might study these baubles.
Oh, I am grateful for the sacrifice. Without it, manufactured nethicite would have eluded us. An unrivaled weapon, I warrant you. Tell me, Venar, have I not been an apt pupil?
My counsel did but guide your able hand.
Whoa.
Through power of man, the stones did you perfect. Yes. So much accomplished in 6 fleeting years.
That's why I called this final cutscene.
Man's fervor or all
Final cutscene 12.
prevailing.
Our lives are much too short.
Yeah, the gods speak in verse.
You undying might waste long centuries away, but we, I fear, cannot.
Just so. Had we more time, we might have availed ourselves of more prudent measures.
Your greatest work still lies before
I think it's iambic octameter.
Not lightly will the Ocuria allow you to wrest the reins of history from their grasp, back into the hands of men.
Indeed. What claim does Garen have on history's reins? Seated on throne immortal, rent from time.
Maybe it's iambic pentameter.
For your I offer prayer. May you attain all that which is your due.
Yeah, it's iambic pentameter. Fun little
attain it I shall.
Fun little clue there, or fun little I don't know if I call it an Easter egg.
My deeds gone unrewarded.
But yeah, they speak in iambic pentameter. Oh, more cutscenes. Sorry, guys.
In tower on distant shore dreams the sun Christ. Do these words mean aught to you?
Didn't Redis say he was going to follow some other course? Maybe you found out something that can help.
I'd rather stay out of that Sky Pirate's debt, thank you.
What's wrong with Redis? I mean, if you can't trust your own kind, who can you trust?
You're an expert on pirating now, are you?
Alright, there we go. Okay, guys, so I'm probably going to go ahead and call it here. I appreciate it. So Jurassic Park as a book has elements of like randomness theory or stochastic theory, whatever you want to call it, chaos theory in it. That's very interesting, which is basically that, you know, the rare event is the one that you need to plan for. And it's the common event that doesn't really matter that much. In other words, it's the extremes, not the averages. And as you have a lot of chaos going on, eventually you're going to end up with everything that's possible kind of happening. That's the best way I could put it. And so that's one of the points is like, oh, well, this isn't likely to happen. It's like, but it could, and therefore you should worry about that. which is something that I talk about on the channel from time to time, that those low frequency events that are high impact are the ones that you really need to worry about. Low frequency, high impact events really change the course of history. So anyway, guys, thanks so much for hanging out with me. And I'll see you guys next time. Newest book is called, and I thank you for the super chats. I think there was a couple super chats. Hopefully I didn't miss any. From J. Lord, I really appreciate those. And hopefully I'll get to talk to you guys next time. And I'll see you guys in the future. Have a great one. Tyrant's Gala comes out next Tuesday.